Hi folks, this is Reverend Mac coming to you with another Red's Bedtime Story. This one took place in about 1982, maybe 83, but the first building I bought on Wells Street was 1343 North Wells, and I lived on the second floor, and I had the tavern on the first floor, and it was kind of amusing because we went in the basement and there was a door that went into the tunnels that run underneath the city streets of Chicago. And there wasn't any lights in there at the time that I could find. So I went and got a flashlight and a couple other flashlights just to make sure. And I brought my pistol with me. And sure enough, I was glad because there were rats down there that were that big. I mean, they were bigger than cats. They might beat up a cat, you know. They were huge rats. And I shot one. Well, we went back. My partner was with me, Lenny, at the time. And we went back and to the door, and we couldn't hear a thing because it was so loud. So we got a little bit smarter, and we brought 22s with us so we could pop the rats off and get them out of the way. But we followed it all the way to what they called in the basement, it's written on, or in these tunnels, it's written on the wall, the Chicago Coal Yards. That was on Chicago Avenue, and all the way over to LaSalle Street. And it was very, very interesting because as we were going down LaSalle Street, I think it was LaSalle National Bank, it was cool down there, and they had the doors open, and they just had the bars there, and there was stacks and stacks and stacks of gold. Gold Krugerrands, not Krugerrands, gold bars, all different kinds of stuff. Maybe this wasn't in 82, maybe it was a little bit later. But at any rate, what happened was, I think it was 82. Anyway, what happened was I reached over and grabbed a bar, and it was like I don't know, a vault was downstairs, and it was open. It was open. I opened it up. I walked inside. There were no cameras in those days. They didn't have cameras down in there, and I shut it and walked back. And gold is very heavy, so I was talking about to Phil Amoto. And I took him down there with me, and he looked at it, and he said, well, how are we going to get it out of here? And there was these small railroad tracks that went along the ways and made for these small little coal cars that used to go through there and deliver coal to the city. So I thought about building a car, and then we thought about something else and something else. And we were planning this thing, and all of a sudden, I was never going to do it, really. But when I was down there with Phil, when we were coming up, Phil took me on the side, he talked to me, he said, we'll leave Lenny down in there. And I said, what do you mean? He said, we'll leave him there. He said, that's more for you and I to split. And I thought about it and said, yeah, right. And so I got my way out of that one. It was one of those kind of things where first of all, I couldn't rob a bank. That's number one. But there was probably close to, I'd say, $1 million in gold in that vault downstairs. And I went and told the bank manager about it, and he thanked me very much. He didn't believe me at first, and then I told him about it. We went down there together, and they locked it. They locked it after that. But there were a lot of places where they let the air come in from downstairs when it was warm. They let the cold air come in from downstairs below. But I thought that was an interesting story to get out to you. I thought it was at the time. Kind of exciting, in a way. It's one of the stories I did write about in my book. I wrote a book, which you probably know, or may not know. It's called Nobody Cares and What I Did About It. The Chicago Outfit, or Red Remet's story. And it talks about my experience with the outfit, how I worked undercover for 20 years with the FBI. Actually, it was longer than 20 years. And Then it talks about other things that I did with other agencies and different people, how I interacted with some people. Postal Inspection Services, IRS, CID, ATF, you name it, I was involved in it in one way or another. As a matter of fact, they always kind of referred to me, the people I know now, always kind of referred to me as the Forrest Gump. I was everywhere. Somehow I was involved in something. If it wasn't up at Great Lakes Naval Base, where the Provost Marshal, a former CIA operative, or controlled, gave me a badge and an ID, and I used to flash that around. That got me out of a lot of jams. And the guys in the 18th district where I lived, they lived and worked. I mean, they kind of left me alone anyway. I was always a police officer's friend. I always helped the cops out whenever I could. They needed it, believe me. It was rough right there by Cabrini Green. It was just a short ways away. But anyway, if you want to order my book, you can. It's available at redwemet.com. It's also available at the shop button on anywhere you see the face of the book. Top of Mike Burns' page. Mike, thank you. I appreciate it so much. And I've had a wonderful time talking to a lot of you people. There's some negative, but the positive is about, I'd say, 95 to 5%. And I want to thank you folks. I've enjoyed chatting with you back and forth, and some of the ideas you have, and any questions you have, please ask. I may not have the answers, but I'll try. Thank you so much. Enjoy the weekend, and God bless you.